I would welcome others, right, is like, ultimately transmission, the delivery of the capital plan, the operations of the active system, the maintenance of it. Transmission has to deliver, right? So it needs to be, the business-led needs need to be identified, and then it becomes a question of how that, what's the right partnership model to support that from the technology organization. Whereas today, when we think about how that works, there's just, unclear overlapping responsibilities, or maybe it could be resourcing, could be funding, people on the resourcing point, could be funding, could be capabilities, a number of different reasons, or just different processes, but there should be a partnership that we rethink that to make sure that transmission gets what is needed to deliver on the transmission strategy.
Yeah, and I can add a little bit of color there, but I guess before I go into that, is anything jumping out to anyone here on the call about this? Any areas that are resonating or are standing out? I mean, for me, the big takeaway to this slide is the ways of working we have today, regardless of the technology decisions, architecture decisions that we look to make over the next few weeks. We are likely looking at a need to change the approach to work overall on those things. So there's going to be there's just kind of underlying color behind each of these as we kind of look through them. But overall, a big takeaway here is just reorienting teams and the team mentalities around the products that are getting used and how those products evolve over time. Yeah, Nick.
Yeah, hey, y'all may have explained it, and so I missed it, but outcome focus being lagging. Can you just briefly give me a quick burst on that?
So the investing in outcomes or the
under the product model adoption, lagging, standard leading, outcome focused teams organized by products is lagging. Can you give me a quick burst on that?
Yeah. So the idea here kind of behind the outcome focused teams is that the teams really being organized around products and the products then supporting the capabilities of the business. So we are just kind of in the earlier stages of the team organizationally around focusing the enabling teams for a given technology. Let's take Teams, for example. That group is just now moving into more of a agile product setup where they have a team of resources pooled with a product manager, someone coming in as a scrum manager, development resources to it that is going to look to release on a more scheduled cadence with a set budget and aligned around the outcomes that they want, versus taking kind of an ongoing basis of requests and moving into more of a waterfall type setup.
Maybe I'll pause. This is meant to be very focused on like how technology and data products are managed, not like our broader goals or like transmission or distribution teams and how they work.
Yeah, I just want to make sure if we're taking this forward and our TO partners see it, are they in agreement, or if does that create debate? And we start debating around some of these things, and again, I think we need to be very blunt and candid. They need the feedback if some of this is true or the case. But I kind of mentioned the other day speed to market and how agile and quickly we can move with some of this potential. But if that's the case, if they see some of this and they disagree, we may get bogged down with debate. And just want to make sure that everybody's transparent and clear that they said, yeah, we recognize that this is how we are. Or they may say, wait a minute, this is what we have, and now we turn it around and they could convince, or it could be a conversation around trying to have a convincing argument on which one is right or wrong. Or which one is right or which one is really, really right. May not be wrong.
The way I
see this, Nick, or just my observation, and it's really not a TO, like it's like I'm blaming TO. I think it's just a function of how we've worked over time. We're very reactive, and y'all tell me if this is what we're trying to communicate here. We're very reactive to technology issues. Something breaks, and we have a set budget for like how we maintain tools. We haven't been proactive in saying what are our technology needs and have a comprehensive roadmap for what our solutions need to be. I don't know if that's what this slide's trying to convey, but I think that's what our overall issue has been. That's not necessarily TO's problem or their fault or our fault. We just haven't been very strategic, holistic. Like, or at least that's my view.
Yeah, I would agree with that view, and I would say the conversations I've been having with Rick, with Christy as well, like none of this is surprising, to them on their side, and I wouldn't say that this slide is calling out TO in any particular way. This is saying the business and TO together need to reorient how we're doing work. I think the historic precedent of the relationship between business and TO has been very much looking at technology as simply the kind of supporting cost center to the business needs versus necessarily as a true partner in building out those solutions. I think that has started to change over the last period of years, and we're starting to see different types of solutions kind of come forward, but still, it seems that TO is frequently pulled away from rationalization, perhaps large scale planning, to do service kind of tech debt, tech issues that are showing up because that's the squeakiest wheel at a given point in time, and or a new priority kind of being put forward. And so all of that stuff, when we have different prioritizations to TO, they don't have time or ability or resources really to cover all of the other tech debt that might be sitting there kind of piling up, which I think is why we end up seeing kind of a constant battle to keep ahead on the various Boulder and other initiatives that are out there, while also trying to service some of the basic data connections into the data lake. And so what we're really, I think, calling out here is a need to reset that working relationship in a way that is going to support the ongoing upkeep of whatever selections and choices we start to make here for a roadmap. And we're going to have to do those kind of in flight with one another.
And I know we've got TO people on the team working on this too. I mean, so is this like a compilation of the way Dave and the transmission team view the way we work together? Like, so, I mean, I'm just, have they already kind of weighed into part of it, like the some members of their team?
Yeah, Alex, on like the Rick or Chrissy point, like you alluded to it, but your conversation with them and pretty wire relative to yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, I think to both Christy and Rick, I think would be supportive of pursuing more of that approach to a lot of the power delivery type solutions that are out there. And they're starting to go that direction, as I say, with teams. That has taken some time to get the ship pointed in the right direction, I think, on that. They've built a lot of supporting documentation as to why to do that and how to pursue it. I would say that's something that needs to be pursued kind of across where possible, the kind of non-enterprise level technologies, and then maybe even ultimately those enterprise ones as well as we start to look at them. But Team, Stomp, etc., all of those should be considering an approach like this where wherever you're looking at doing kind of an additional customization or upgrades to features on stuff that is not kind of enterprise level SaaS.
I think we wanted this to be kind of a hard-hitting visual for this group, just to share perspectives on like what we are seeing across conversations. I do think there is a softening, or just like Elaine, to your point, kind of like what we could show instead of just like what we're seeing versus best in class, if we're okay with that as well, we can explore the visual. But I do think we want to emphasize that this is something that, to Alex's point, we'll need to be very thoughtful about, because it will make or break the roadmap's success.
I think Elaine, you made a really good point as well, that there has not been a holistic macro sense of the power delivery or transmission roadmap in place. It has been, I think, solution by solution focused, and not necessarily looking at what is the 5-year picture across these different domains. And so I think we're starting to see the beginnings of that. But I think there needs to be a governance structure in place for how does the business and TO and all of those involved do that on an ongoing basis, so that we don't veer off course once there is a kind of goal set in mind.
Pretty much all we had in terms of the Melvin pages. I honestly think you could have a whole conversation off of just headlines and talking points, and send a free reader, whatever he's most comfortable with. But that's pretty much all we had. If folks have other thoughts they'd like to make sure we raise with them.
What you need?
Okay. Well, to Luke's point earlier, I mean, both a broader product thinking and more specific to development content, please reach out to us directly, to broader team, as you have other thoughts
Do
or
we need to send an
questions
email?
on this pages and talk track development, but also just for the work overall. And appreciate the time the past couple of days.
Call about that. I'm about to go.
I mean, more broadly in the run up.
I'm
We
about
appreciate
to change, so we can go over there.
the team's engagement,
Unless you want to send an email.
access,
We
and
sent an
support
email.
across the
We sent an
organization.
email
And
anyway.
then for each of you individually, thank you. The time yesterday, the engagement, the discussion, really healthy, and again today, very, very, very productive. So, thank you.
Your test tracks 4 o'clock. Tell him 4
If nothing
o'clock.
else, we'll give 7 minutes to get back.
It's not gonna take that long.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, everybody.
Reach out if you can call. Thank you.
What'd you say? I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
I didn't say anything.
You said something. It's not gonna take that long. What's not gonna take that long?
Going over there shouldn't take that long.
Yeah, but we need to go by the other place too.
What other place?
Market something. The other ice cream place.
Something I don't remember. Farmer's table.
Farmer's table.
And where are you guys going?
Put the clothes on. Put the clothes on. Bless you. I'll let you sneeze yourself. Bless you. Sneeze. We ran out of time.